everybody, it's Julie. Welcome back to Row & Co Farms. Today I want to take you along while we make a delicious fermented dish called Curtido. So this is a Mexican version of sauerkraut. We're going to be using some cabbages, some carrots, red onions, garlic. I'm also going to throw in a turnip, but you don't have to have that, and then some assorted hot peppers and sweet peppers, along with a few spices, and we're going to turn that into a delicious fermented Mexican spiced sauerkraut. You can add this on top of nachos, tacos, chili, any kind of taco salad. Is just really delicious. Kind of takes the place of a slaw that you would add on top of a fish taco or something like that. So we're going to be making it in this half-gallon jar, and it's going to taste really delicious, and it's super simple to make. So come along with me while we do that today. So I'm going to be using a food processor today, but you're welcome to chop all these things by hand as well. It's not necessary, but I do like to use my food processor because I like to shred it pretty fine. So I'm going to get these cut down into wedges that we can fit into the food processor. So now that I've got all of my ingredients chopped and shredded and put into this bowl, next thing I'm going to do is add salt. Salt is the key ingredient for fermentation. Nothing else is as important as the salt. So we use 2 small heads of cabbage, so I'm going to use about 2.5 to 3 tablespoons of salt here. I'm just going to be sprinkling that over the top and just a little bit more, and we're going to kind of massage that in, and then we're going to let this sit for about 10 or 15 minutes because that salt is going to start to draw out some of the moisture from the cabbage and the vegetables, and that's what we want. We want this to start to create some of its own juice. So it's been about 10 minutes, and I can already tell that the cabbage has started to soften up a little bit. So I'm going to come in here and just massage it a little bit. That will start to help release a little bit more of the juices in there. And then I'm going to add my cumin, paprika, and chili powder to give it that nice scent of Mexican food, and probably a few coriander seeds as well. And then we will start packing it into our jar. So let's go ahead and add some paprika. I'm gonna do 3 teaspoons of paprika. Let's do 3 teaspoons of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of cumin. I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of coriander seed and 1 teaspoon, let's make it 2 of cumin seed. And then lastly, we'll do 1 teaspoon of peppercorns. All right, now we just need to mix all that together really well. And then we'll pack it into our jars. And it smells amazing. It really smells so good already. I can't wait eat this in a few weeks. So this will take about 7 to 10 days. Usually I let mine go about 10 days, just depending on kind of how sour you like it to be. But I like mine to have a little tang to it. And then once it's in that state that I like it, then I will put this into the refrigerator and then leave it and eat it from there. So yeah, that looks really good. Okay. So we're going to start packing our ingredients down into our jar. After I pack in just a little bit, I'm going to take my wooden packer here, or you can just use a wooden spoon, and I'm going to start to mash the cabbage down. You can see it starting to create some juice in there, and that's what we want. Continuing to add additional cabbage. And then go in and start to pack that in. The goal is to make sure that this entire bunch of vegetables is completely covered by liquid. So if there's not enough liquid by the time we're finished, we'll add a little bit of water, which will kind of top it off and keep everything submerged under the water. So we'll just continue with this layering process, packing process, until we have filled the jar up completely. Like I said earlier, I will eat this little mixture with on top of chili, tacos, nachos, any kind of Mexican dish, taco salad, fish tacos, any of those street tacos. This is just like that nice little bite, and it has all the vegetables in it, so you're getting a nice bunch of veggies, a good flavor. It's already pre-made, so it saves you time from having to make an extra slaw every time you want to have a Mexican dish. It's already ready because you can store it in the fridge, and you don't need very much. You just need a small, maybe a 1/4 cup serving for yourself, just to eat it like a condiment. And it's really delicious, and it has so many probiotics in it because it's fermented. And so it's just a great addition to your condiment selection. So it's just a wonderful addition to your pantry. So you can make ferments and any kind of flavorings that you like. I like this version because this is kind of a I like this Mexican flavors. But you could also do like a kimchi, which will give you some nice Asian flavors that you can add to Asian dishes. You can also do just a classic sauerkraut that you can add to other types of dishes. So just lots of different ways that you can turn this into your own. And I bet there's some ways to make a nice Indian version as well. So now you can see that I really have lots of brine coming up here, which is what we really want to see, is plenty of that juice. So we're definitely not going to need to top it off with any water. I still have a little bit of Curtido left, so I'm going to try to fit as much as I can in here, but I may have to use another jar. So now what I'll do is I have a weight. This is just a heavy glass weight that is used for fermentation. I'm going to place that inside here, and it's going to make it overflow. So I'm going to pour a little bit of that liquid off. I'm going to add that weight. It's going to make sure that all that stuff stays submerged below the liquid. And then I will add a top to this, and then we will let this sit for 7 to 10 days. So on top of this jar, I'm going to place, this is an airlock lid. It just allows air to escape out, but it doesn't allow anything to come back in. Fermentation produces some different gases and stuff, and so you want to make sure that those gases are allowed to escape so that this doesn't explode. So this top will allow it to do that. So again, after 7 to 10 days, after 7 days, I will start to check this. I'm going to taste it, see if it's as sour as I want it, and if it's not, then we'll allow it to sit a little bit longer. But usually 10 days is about as long as I let mine go. But that's the process of making curtido. So let's take a look at some of the ferments that we have that we worked on a few days ago. So this is the Curtido, which is the Latin Mexican spiced sauerkraut. It has been up here for 10 days now, and it is just how I like it. So we're gonna go ahead now. It's been out at room temperature for the last 10 days. We're gonna take this now and move it into our refrigerator. Once it's in the refrigerator, it will continue to ferment, but at a very, very slow rate once we put it in there. So we can use this for the next year, 2 years, longer. It won't take me that long to eat it, but it could be in there for that long. So ideally, ferments are a really great way to store some of your vegetables and have them be more nutritious than when you started with them. So we're going to be using this tonight with our chili that we're making. So this should be really a great addition to that meal. Well, let's give this a taste and see how it is. It's really good. It's a little bit salty. I put a little too much salt in it, but I think since I'm not eating a lot at one time, I think that'll be okay. And I'll have it on top of other stuff, so it'll kind of dilute a little bit of that salt out. I just need to keep that in mind with the dishes that I make, not to add too much salt. But all in all, I'd say it's really good. Thanks for joining us today, guys, for our fermentation video. And I can't wait to see you next time here at Rowe & Co Farms.